My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. Notice: intellectual property theft is particularly egregious and equally unlawful where the sole inventor and creator of the intellectual property is the targeted individual. Erica Lorraine Spencer, subject to the unconstitutional and inhumane government system of gang stalking, otherwise referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices, because of which the intellectual property created by the targeted individual, who is, in fact, Erica Lorraine Spencer, as the intellectual property also proves, serves to establish via evidence and expose the existence of criminal surveillance and thus an inherent threat posed by the U.S. government and the civilian population sharing engagement in the unlawful system. Such evidence, that includes all of the content created by Erica Lorraine Spencer, images, videos, audio, etc., belongs solely and entirely to Erica Lorraine Spencer only and is necessarily published online in order to protect her life, safety, and liberty as the targeted individual, who is also the intellectual property owner, no less protected from theft procured through targeting by a public entity. Theft of any intellectual property belonging to Erica Lorraine Spencer, which is necessarily committed while she, being both creator and inventor, remains oppressed by the public entity via criminal surveillance, is a criminal and inhumane means of infringement under all circumstances and not protected nor enforceable pursuant to any invalid or fraudulent acts of copyright, trademarks, patents, etc., including as it pertains to any ideas associated with or generated from the intellectual property or the intellectual property owner, Erica Lorraine Spencer, whether creative, business, or otherwise, nor does the intellectual property owner consent to any such means of infringement and theft. Erica Lorraine Spencer here. The following is an audio version of video evidence that is captured for purposes of mass distribution, which is why I am capturing it and sharing it on the podcast for evidentiary purposes and also to reveal the wealth of documentation that extends beyond what it is that I document on podcasts. Much of the video and images will be published onto the YouTube channel, the P.O.C., and it is also shared on the Google Drive. Again, this is for purposes of revealing what I remain subject to, which is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is a demonic system of state surveillance that the government is practicing in concert with the people of the state, and it should be known and well understood that for the government to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring, this is a crime that is committed with a criminal purpose to threaten the life of an American citizen. This is to conspire to murder and or permanently kidnap an American citizen while engaging in a perpetual sex offense in concert with the people of the state. Alrighty, I just want to be clear. I'm capturing images of the people of the state that are stalking in concert with the military. And this is the military that was stalking me in Upland, California, also following me with helicopters, doing so in 3 separate videos. And the entity is stalking at 2:05 in the morning. There are no flights from the airport right now. There are no flights even in the morning when the demon-possessed are engaging in the pattern of kind of like you see Securitas and all the employees doing. Leo that's engaging in stalking with light, This is these are demons. These aren't humans, and these are also not only criminals, but this is the mentally ill that are stalking. And John Stewart Company is filled with defendants who are gang stalking, with the people of the state stalking with light in the path. And the people of the state, as I just documented less than 5 minutes ago, are stalking by strolling through here, gang stalking on foot in the engineer light with the military, the entity that's engaged in 24-hour surveillance. This is the entity that works, like I put on X, this is the entity that's engaging in stalking, that is obsessed with me, and that is psychopathic. And that's why they are spending money by stalking in planes and helicopters. And that is also the evidence to have them locked down with martial law, have them involuntarily committed. This is the evidence serving to diagnose them, to remove them from the roads and the highways while they're gang stalking. All the entities engaging in this pattern of conduct, doing so over the Ontario City Hall, the Ontario Senior Center, and the John Stewart Apartment Complex. This is the P.O.C. It's 2:06 a.m. The people of the state are up stalking right along with the military, and that's what's captured in the images. This is the entity that's engaging in what is revealing to the world how they are obsessed with me, and they are demons. These are not people. These are demons. These are creatures. These are lower beings. These are demons that are worshiping me, and they engage in this ritualistic behavior before they also commit murder. This is also why the entities such as Paul Leon is being prosecuted. He is being federally prosecuted. He's being documented at 2 o'clock in the morning as an entity that is gang stalking. They're walking around at night stalking. You saw Leo stalking with light. That's a mentally ill psychopath, not a security guard. Mentally ill behavior. Stalking in planes, stalking with light. Monitoring as an entity. They're all mentally ill. This is the P.O.C. It is currently 2:07 a.m. Alrighty, it is, by the way, 2:37 a.m. This is the Ontario City Hall, Ontario Senior Center, and the John Stewart Apartment Complex, where the people of the state are awake gang stalking with the military that is engaging in what is serial flight. And I am currently publishing it on X, where the prosecution of the mentally ill that are stalking in commercial planes at this hour, it's going to be used to prosecute them, and it's going to be used to prosecute the people of the state who are being documented as mentally ill as well, who are engaged in the criminal conspiracy to murder in concert with the military, who are not gang stalking by itself, okay? This is what the entity was doing with Leo, who was stalking in this walkway in the engineer light with the military, stalking by plane. The people of the state are stalking on the roads and the highways at Euclid Avenue, stalking while maintaining presence in the path, doing so in the dark. City Hall, University of Laverne College of Law, in the parking lot where I've shown you all the entity is stalking, while the military is engaging what is plane after plane after plane after plane after plane after plane. And I've also shown as relevant context, regardless of the time of the airport, no planes are flying over here. They're not just flying though. This is the entity that is hovering, stalking, and doing so also at the hour. All of this is relevant to diagnosing the mental illness, while the cult members, the homosexuals, the HIV infected, demon possessed actors of the military are being prosecuted for terrorism, and so are the people of the state. The entity has an extensive housing community that's being prosecuted that surrounds this Ontario Civic Center. The City of Ontario is being prosecuted, and the United States government that is stalking me using commercial planes. They don't have any passengers aboard. They're not headed to a destination. They're doing so while they are in the specific environment. This is the P.O.C. It is currently 2:39 a.m. This is documentation regarding damages and the prosecution of the corporate entity, because they're all being prosecuted together. Metro 102, Ontario Downtown Luxury Apartments, Wells Fargo. They're stalking at the ATM. They're stalking by park. I've shown all the ways as I've been documenting the pattern of conduct. That's what they're doing, while the military is stalking, concentrating plane activity right here, over and over and over again. And I'm capturing pictures and putting it on the X feed. You'll see plane after plane after plane. You will also see what the Ontario International Airport has published with regard to its flight schedule, which is merely ongoing relevant context, because the flight schedule, even if you had a Delta airline and they had one here at the same time, it's not the flight that's headed to a destination, and you're not coming from the airport hovering over the city hall. The entity's doing so under all circumstances in the specific environment. You're being prosecuted, period. And I'm prosecuting the Ontario International Airport. Okay, it's just context that there aren't any even planes published flight from the airport right now. This is P.O.C. It is 2:40 a.m. This is literally what they were doing at 5 o'clock in the morning, which I captured in an 18-minute video. This is desperation. This is maniacal. This is unhinged. This is raw, unadulterated obsession. This is psychopathic, and it is also highly delusional. It's also very clear. It's very clear what the police department is engaging in. The entity that is stalking me in Plains is sharing in that this entity committed kidnapping, and Rodriguez of the Ontario Police, Edgar of Stater Brothers, all of those employees at that venue of Stater Brothers, the people of the state. Hadel Shiapani, who's also engaging in what is kidnapping at the Stater Brothers. This is an entity that's engaged in stalking me. They're stalking me 24 hours a day, and they had the audacity to claim that they had a warrant pursuant to stalking. Hazelwood of the Ontario Police and Owens are stalkers, and this is the evidence that's putting them in prison, and they're also going to prison for the documented acts of kidnapping, like what this department engaged in with this entity that's stalking me at 2 o'clock in the morning, following me from city to city. That's engaging in what is criminal monitoring, not law enforcement, nor is this the operations of a legitimate military. That's Sarah's Regis Group stalking. That's a demon that's monitoring with the military that's flying over that apartment complex. This entity committed kidnapping, and they are, every single last one of them are going to federal prison for it, including the people of the state. Okay, while Edgar's gang stalking and engaging in criminal summoning at Stater Brothers, Edgar, as an entity, is at the Ontario Civic Center stalking 24 hours a day. That's what I'm documenting, and that's what you need to understand about a pattern of conduct that an entity is committing, and it is justice with regard to the policy of how you're prosecuting and how you are clearly witnessing stalking. These demons are flying in circles. That's not a flight to a destination, and it still has not engaged in a takeoff. It's hovering over the apartment building. This is an entity that is indeed mentally ill, and it's beyond pathetic. But that which is pathetic is that which is very much a threat to American citizens. This is what a population does while it is plotting to murder you. Wells Fargo is stalking. Sarah's Regis Group, Downtown Ontario Luxury Apartments are stalking. The police department, the fire department, American Medical Response are stalking. The city of Ontario is stalking. This entity of stalkers committed kidnapping. And there are more details about that kidnapping, such as sexual assault and battery, as stalkers that do not have any lawful warrants. They don't maintain any court hearings. They don't exercise jurisdiction in any courtroom while they're engaged in this stalking. They are going to federal prison, including Mr. Michael Lombo. You're going to prison, sir. You engaged in kidnapping, and this is the evidence putting you in prison. This is the P.O.C. This is evidence that I have before you engaged in kidnapping via a fictitious prosecution, and this is the evidence pursuant to the kidnapping that you committed on what is July 14th, while I'm subject to what is the pattern of conduct by West Valley and the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, while the entity is still gang stalking. You are going to prison, and there is no other way to put that. This is very plain and straightforward evidence. While the people of the state are stalking, this is stalking in the path with light at Wells Fargo, who is being documented as stalking as well. This is the P.O.C. It's currently 2:57 a.m. And this is the mentally ill behavior of an entity that is necessitating martial law based on the unlawful threat, the heightened threat to national security that the mentally ill who are demon possessed, who are engaging in what is no longer any secret and which was never elite. This is not elite. This is just ongoing psychopathic stalking that is out of control, while the entity engages in this and they consume the flesh of the ones that they stalk. They consume the feces of the ones that they stalk. This is satanic worship. It's P.O.C. Important to catch the time right now. You can see it. It's 7:19 a.m. And this is relevant evidence. This is analytical reference to what is the kidnapping that this entity committed. Well, you will see the Ontario Fire Department engaging in criminal summoning. This is relevant to the kidnapping that the Ontario Fire Department committed in concert with this entity at the same time on Monday, July 13th, 2026, which is at 7:19 a.m. The timestamp of this video that you can see where Anthony Rodriguez is engaged in stalking, just like the fire department is, under the fake sun at Stater Brothers, not at University of Laverne College of Law, which is where I'm at right now, where the fake sun is over me, and a fire department is engaged in criminal surveillance. Stalking, as I've been capturing over the library down yonder, while I'm at the opposite side of that library. This is, just so you know where I'm at, this is the D Street, D as in dog, and Lemon Avenue, the infamous street that I walk down, and the entity has the fake sun over me after I get out of the demons congregating on Sunday in the middle of the afternoon. Here it is over me. This is the same street that I'm walking down, where Southwest Airlines and all the airlines flying over downtown Ontario luxury apartments, like I'm capturing last night, like I capture as I walk, and the entity is stalking by flying over all the venues that are being prosecuted, the corporate entities, and the entity is maintaining the fake sun at University of LAVERNE College of Law. This is the location where I'm at right now. It's 7:19 a.m. Very strategic with regard to my documentation of the entity that is now flying over the College of LAVERNE, University of Law. The direct evidence necessary in order to have this gang stalking institution removed from any accredited status, and those that are gang stalking with the people of the state at University of LAVERNE College of Law from being able to practice law. This is not a law school. This is a means of what is criminal surveillance, which is also relevant when they are struggling to maintain accredited status and when you are engaging in what is federal group stalking and monitoring, as opposed to diligent studies in the practice of law. While you are a terrorist sitting and studying for the California bar, these are incongruent facts with regard to what is being banned from and able to precluded from sitting for the California bar, instructing anyone to sit for the California bar, remaining as a legitimate institution. You are not. License 9LT and 498. This is all relevant pretext. I'm going to get to Rodriguez right now. This is a demon that's tracking my steps while they're pacing under the light source. They are monitoring while you saw the fire department driving out of the fire station. This is the entity that followed with the fake sun that has been remaining. As you know, Securitas and the gang stalking airlines are maintaining it over the library, which is what I documented on an ongoing basis. The entity moves because I moved. And on Monday, July 13th, 2026, this is at 7:19 a.m. is the timestamp on this video. But this is, I want to be clear also, let me give you context. This video is approximately 25 minutes long and it ends at 7:19 a.m. So all of my evidence of the fake sun being over the opposite side of this institution, remaining until the middle of the afternoon in the evening setting, is relevant context also regarding a kidnapping that is proven by science, while Anthony Rodriguez, is who you see above, is gang stalking and engaging in what is the abusive position while he's engaged in surveillance with the military that are stalking me by commercial planes, including at what is College of LAVERNE University of Law, which is nowhere near the 646 West Holt Boulevard, where the entity kept the fake sun and engaged in what is criminal summoning, and also made a series of admissions regarding that which is also not unlawful, this investigation. And while they make ongoing admissions and then discriminate against me, criminally summon the stalkers that are engaged in the conspiracy to murder me, such as Anthony Rodriguez and Hadel Shiapani, who are under the fake sun gang stalking me and are engaging in what is interfering with this investigation, it is a basis for federal prison. That's exactly what Stater Brothers committed. This is what the entity is doing. I just want you to pay attention. This is Amazon stalking, doing so while they are monitoring at the people of the state. These are all gang stalking. This entire neighborhood is going to be subject to a raid and being subject to prosecution. Amazon, license 6 Xavier, Thomas David 239, just like they are yesterday, by helicopter, where the military is stalking me on the roads and the highways. By helicopter, and Amazon is stalking on the roads and the highways under a fake sun. All right, but I just want to get back to this while you're looking at the P.O.C. underway in real time. This is prosecuting, putting Anthony, who you see in the screen recording above, at the same time at the Stater Brothers off of Holt Boulevard in San Antonio in federal prison, okay? This is psychopathic while the stalkers are wearing police uniforms and badges and report to a crime scene to conspicuously stalk, surveil, harass, and also threaten kidnapping and actually engage in kidnapping, which is what Anthony Rodriguez and Hadel Shiapani, June 16, 2022 kidnapping, which, by the way, where it's over me right now at 7:19 a.m. and it is over me and Hadel, who is stalking at the OVITT Family Community Library right here at 10:29 a.m. where it's over the roof, meaning it's still here hours later during daylight savings time. She's going to prison under all circumstances, and she is a repeat offender. She's going to prison and she's not getting out, and they are being subject to what are mental examinations while I'm showing you the mentally ill and criminal pattern of conduct. All right, this is the entity kidnapping on what is July 13, 2022. Listen. Rodriguez, where is Edgar? He's the one that called you, right?
No.
Oh, you don't know who called you?
What's going to happen is the managers don't want you here. You refuse to leave, I'm going to place you under arrest for trespassing, okay? Yeah, do you want to tell me why? Because that's what I was asking.
They don't have to have a reason why. They can just test you.
So they can harass me and then you come in
It's
and
not
force
harassment.
me?
It's called you're going to leave or I'm going to place you under arrest. This is your last warning.
That's, okay,
Last
that's
warning.
literally...
Last warning, let's go.
That's literally harassment? Yes, it is. Oh, we love it. Hadel Shiapani, who's going to prison. This is the end. I'm walking. This is harassment. Listen, you can stop raising your voice, Satan. You don't have any authority. No, you're disrespectful because you think you have a point right now and you don't. You're a vagina monitor. Don't sit here and try to, you're not flexing on anybody. You're stalking and you're scared. And your partner's going to prison. And so are the demons inside of the grocery store. So you're getting a little too excited. Pipe down, Satan. This is under the fake sun. This is under the fake sun while you're engaging in harassment and threatening to commit a kidnapping. That's a kidnapping. Give me your badge number, gangster. Give me your badge number.
I want you to see this altercation is occurring.
This is
under the fake sun, okay? This is the evidence that you are not distracted from while you hear me dealing with those that are threatening my life and my safety and my liberty and have serially engaged in that. While you're looking at this evidence that I'm capturing again this morning, the military are stalking in concert with the Ontario police who commit kidnappings, who engage in criminal defamation by committing kidnappings and arriving in this manner, claiming that I'm trespassing, while the people of the state who are engaged in harassing me and criminally summoning these stalkers while they're stalking themselves. And this is how the entity is engaging what is conspiring your murder. This is no law school. This is also not over the roof as you see it over 646 West Hope Boulevard. And as I stand here, this at University of Laverne is not hunkering down at the same time like you see in the image, this video at the same time over the Stater Brothers store, literally the building over the top of my head. This is two distinct ecological addresses, and this is the entity that is engaging what is they will be subject to commitments while you're looking at their mental illness, their psychopathic disorder, while they are maintaining a whole illusion regarding authority that they have, regarding what has actually expired, what has precipitated their presence, the authority that they do not actually have. And this is what they do to people who do not have evidence. So in the face of being documented, you're still looking at what is psychopathic. You are stalking and you're wearing a police uniform, and you're stalking while you're being documented, moreover, and you are engaging in what is the fictitious exercise of authority as a pattern by this department. That's federal prison for Mike Lorenz, before him Derek Williams, and after him what is Lopez. They're all going to prison. This is a pattern of conduct as Rodriguez and Hadel Shiapani, under a fake sun, are engaged in terrorism. And this is for the entire department that is being prosecuted as terrorists. They have no immunity under the law and they will be removed from their positions. They are all going to be removed from the positions as terrorists, done with law enforcement permanently, and they're going to federal prison when they engage in, and I document them engaging what Rodriguez and Shiapani are engaging in this video under the fake sun at Stater Brothers, engaging in criminal summoning pursuant to obstruction of justice, having committed no wrong to Stater Brothers. Stater Brothers is wronging me, and Stater Brothers is necessarily making admissions regarding calling the police for no reason, in other words. Demons like 6JRB378 who are gang stalking, and I'm being falsely accused of things that did not happen, and the entity does not explain it to me and merely summons the police. Where does that sound familiar? This is always the circumstance of what the Ontario Police Department are doing while they're stalking, and that's because they're gang stalking and conspiring the murder of someone who is not a criminal. And that's what you must do when you're engaging in targeting an innocent American citizen. But this is an entity that's moreover doing it to the federal prosecutor. And Rodriguez and Shiapani represent the mentally ill entity that are stalking. They're doing so wearing badges, bearing guns, and driving around in vehicles, stalking me in helicopters, in concert with the military. It is directly relevant what the military is doing at the library, as I'm documenting on a daily basis, as when I'm in Upland, and what Rodriguez and Shiapani are doing, which is criminal summoning. It's not law enforcement, and the two are distinct. You're going to be prosecuted as a terrorist. You're going to be dismissed from your position without any immunity, no protections under the law, and prosecuted as such, versus being engaged in law enforcement and having the bureaucratic tape to surround and protect you. Administrative means of you have what is an administrative process regarding the protection of those that are actually engaged in the execution of the duties of officers, no matter how flawed it may be. This is not that. This is gang stalking. This is domestic terrorism. This is in concert with the military that is stalking me at the University of Laverne College of Law under the fake sun. And this is relevant to this kidnapping.
This is under the fake sun while you're engaging in harassment and threatening to commit a kidnapping. That's a kidnapping. Give me your badge number, gangster. Give me your badge number. While he's raising his voice while you're in the wrong.
All right, what I want to show you is the entity that is engaging in this pattern of conduct while I am showing you, let me show you the same location of the venue where I'm at right now, University of Laverne.
This is P.O.C. And I want you to be clear, the entity is intentionally doing it at the same address. Everybody on this street.
1 second. Okay, getting the video evidence of where I'm located right now, relevant to the kidnapping that the Ontario Police, which is the public entity engaging in gang stalking, the U.S. military, which is the United States government that's engaging in the pattern of conduct with the state of California, that's the Ontario Police Department engaging in the pattern of conduct with the people of the state, the city of Ontario, the corporate entity, state or brothers under the fake sun. This is the scientific aspect of evidence which is proving surveillance as an entity. This is gang stalking, which is also demonic activity, which is relevant to malice. Okay, the entity is doing this under the fake sun at College of Laverne University of Law. 7:19 a.m. I start this video on purpose with regard to a strategy showing you how the mentally ill that are conspiring the murder of American citizens, stalking as police departments, committing kidnapping, theft of my communication device, sexual assault and battery, which I suffered at the Department of Shannon Dykes, that are engaging in targeting in the first place, in concert with Michael Lowe of the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court. This is all relevant to a system. And they're going to be federally prosecuted for that. At the same University of Laverne at 7:19 in the morning, this is the same venue you see at the top during daylight savings time at 2:37 p.m. where the entity is stalking under a fake sun, as the entity is doing now, creating activities, stalking in the path, both on the roads and the highways and in the sky space, in concert with an entire neighborhood. That's the entire city. All right, the entity has a fake sun over Stater Brothers, 9 Henry, Xavier, Charlie 423. And the Demons gang stalking by attending University of Laverne College of Law will not be sitting for the California bar. This is their impunity while you're looking at me being gang stalked outside of the law school. This is one entity. You are looking at their communication of their disdain, their disregard for the law, and yet you want to maintain a law school and sit for the California bar and be treated, represent yourself as one that is ethical enough to represent and be an officer of the court, and you are not, while this fake sun is over this institution. And this is the entity that committed kidnapping. Pay attention to while I'm at the same exact location in the middle of the afternoon at 2:37 p.m.
Showing you that University of Laverne College of Law is to be shut down. They are unfit to be engaged in the instruction of law while they are engaged in systematic violation of it and furtherance of murder. I just want to say, receiving pay to instruct potential officers of the court. When those officers of the court then become that I've documented, that I experienced, that engaged in this pattern of conduct, they are unfit to engage in the practice of law. They are unfit to.
This is the P.O.C. right here. This is the military. Migrating as I migrate. Remember, look at all my evidence. They're flying over the Civic Center area, over the parking lot, over the John Stewart apartment complex. And you have the same military stalking, flying over the law school, where the fake sun's not over by the library anymore, over there. It's right here over me. And it's also not over Stater Brothers, where this entity that is monitoring, this is exceeding stalking, where a fire department is monitoring, not just stalking, which is outside of what are the requirements and the position of a fire department and a firefighter. They're engaged in stalking under the fake sun in real time. While you're looking at the evidence of this fake sun that is still here at 2:37 in the afternoon, like I documented in March of 2026 during daylight savings time. This is an institution that's being removed. This is the prosecution of an entity while I'm showing you those who are going to prison while they committed kidnapping. Okay? They committed kidnapping with the intent to obstruct justice because they want to engage in sexual assault and battery while kidnapping me in a jail, while that jail is engaged in monitoring. Okay? That's what's relevant while the military is gang stalking in this video and showing a clear distinction with regard to location and the environment where they are stalking.
Engage in the instruction of those who would like to be officers of the court engaging in the practice of law. And University of Laverne College of Law, 320 East D Street, fake sun is wrong. And that entity that is gang stalking together, that is engaging in surveillance together, this is unfit, this is relevant to what is moral turpitude, this is relevant to what is that unethical lifestyle, which the entity is not reporting when they're applying for the bar, when they're applying to sit for the bar, when they're receiving their legal education, and the entity has an inherently corrupt system where they are engaged in what is receiving a Juris Doctor while they've been engaged in criminal surveillance and furtherance of murdering targeted individuals, including targeted individuals that attend law school.
All right, so I'm giving my legal argument regarding the moral turpitude inherent to the repugnant representation of what is a domestic terrorist of one that is practicing law. This is the entity that is gang stalking, practicing law, engaging in kidnapping. That's what the public defenders of the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, the district attorneys of the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court represent, that are engaging in the pattern of conduct, and that's proven by a fake sent over that courthouse, which is already evidence on the record, where Michael Lowe is committing kidnapping on July 14, 2026, pursuant to this entity that is engaging in criminal surveillance. Michael Lowe is going to federal prison, okay? He's going to federal prison just like his co-defendant, Lisa Rogan. Alrighty, and Michael Lowe is going to federal prison pursuant to this criminal pattern of conduct that is underway in the city of Ontario, where they are indeed sex offenders. They are sex offenders, like you just saw, but what it is that I'm after is the entity that is engaging in the pattern of conduct with this level of impunity, such as criminal summoning, where you are literally stalking as a police department, and that's to enforce a bullying system. In this video, what you just saw is the entity stalking me by helicopter, flying over the top of my head, targeting me under a fake sun that is in the 7 a.m. hour. It's over me at this location at University of Laverne, and then on video where they're stalking me, flying over the top of my head, the fake sun is over here at this location. This is where I'm at, the same location. The sun is not rising and setting at one address, which is the gang stalking institution, University of Law, engaged in public corruption, unfit to maintain an institution in the instruction of law. And they have been engaged in years of targeting at the Ontario Civic Center with the gang stalking mayor, gang stalking city council, while I've captured all manner of impunity. The planes that are stalking me while I'm at downtown Ontario Luxury Apartments, while I'm on Euclid Avenue, Gloria's Cochinas, while I'm on B Street, walking toward and from this venue. They are stalking with University of Laverne, flying over the venue. The Ontario Fire Department engaging in criminal summoning, gang stalking with the University of Laverne. They are demons, professors, and students monitoring, and they committed kidnapping. Okay, so I'm covering two things at one time. Pay attention. The entity's engaging in this pattern of conduct, and there is no son that's going to be present, like what you see in this video at the University of Laverne at 2:37 in the morning, 2:37 in the afternoon, and what is 7:40 in the morning. This is where the entity is committing kidnapping on. Also, this evidence is also showing while the military is stalking me at the institution itself under a fake sun that's not in a natural environment where it's supposed to be, which is over Stater Brothers at 646 West Hall Boulevard, which is not at the same time. It's necessarily more than one son to have this. Rodriguez and Hadel Chiapani are already gang stalking me, and they arrived to communicate an unlawful threat, and for that they're going to prison. Under the same circumstances, they commit murder, and they claim that the target individual that is not being addressed, this is not being discussed, is threatening them or violating the law, and that none of that is the case, and you're going to prison for that. That is committed in furtherance of murder and kidnapping and criminal defamation, where you're calling me a trespasser when actually you're gang stalking, and you're monitoring this investigation, and you're engaging in those acts while you are hostile to the evidence against you. And that's your problem, and it's evidence of your mental illness, because you're a psychopath that can't handle the fact that you're monitoring my vagina, and I absolutely will report you. You're being prosecuted and you're going to be committed. That's Edgar of the Stater Brothers at 646 West Holt, working under the fake sun, targeting me, and then engaging in criminal summoning. He's going to federal prison. So is Michael Lowe, the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court. Okay, this is P.O.C. Alrighty, Michael Lowe, bar number 248249, is a member of the California Bar, and he's engaged in gang stalking me through the pattern of conduct that's underway through the corrupt court system, which is also the reason why the courts are unavailable to the target individual that's being targeted by the United States government. And the state of California, the city of Ontario, San Bernardino County Court, Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, is one that is engaging in this criminal system of targeting, and therefore have no jurisdiction, by the way, under state and federal constitutions. Moreover, they're engaging in this pattern of conduct pursuant to kidnapping committed by the military that are stalking me under this fake sun right now in this video, engaging in what is targeting, as the evidence shows, at the venue where there is no violation of the law and no jurisdiction by a targeting police department, who are then exchanging hands with my person, sharing and kidnapping with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, who are also surrounded with the evidence of this environment where they are targeting, having no jurisdiction, engaging in state surveillance with the U.S. military, and then engaging in exchanging hands with me with the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court, where I am confronted with this cult member, Michael T. Lowe, who is a member of the California Bar and is acting as a commissioner in a criminal act committed by the courts that are gang stalking. All right, this is the entity that's exercising fictitious authority, and for such things, as it was already documented, while the entity is stalking by Hazelwood and Owens, committing kidnapping. The entity that is gang stalking demons like Jonathan Burnett, demons like Lester Keys, Jason Knighton, these demons that are engaging in kidnapping, as a department, and you entertain that criminal activity, this is how the system operates, you're going to prison. And the entity has committed kidnapping together over and over and over again. This is how gang stalking operates in order to criminally defame your character, murder, and or kidnap you. And the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, in targeting me, is entertaining the criminal acts by the Ontario Police Department. And this is where you're getting to entertaining criminal acts committed against me, which are all over the internet. San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department are aware that the Ontario Police are stalking and monitoring me. That is being documented, that it's on social media. And they are engaging and targeting me by asserting a warrant via the Ontario Police. These two demons, Hadel Shiapani and Rodriguez, who are under the fake Sun gang stalking, you do not have a warrant under any iteration of this pattern of conduct under any circumstances. Moreover, it wasn't a criminal act. The Los Angeles Police Department, which are documented terrorists, are targeting me in the workplace, which is directly relevant, and that's a part of the pattern of conduct, the purpose, in other words, for gang stalking me in the workplace, where I would be sleeping outside so that demons that are monitoring my vagina and stalking with light, like Owens and Hazelwood are, in February and December, stalking me in Ontario and then claiming that I'm violating the municipal code. They are then engaging in what is criminal activity, which is not going to provide any authority to you. And when you assert that you have a warrant, you are going to federal prison. And that's exactly what the Ontario Police Department, San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, and the Rancho Cucamonga Superior Court did. And Michael Lowe is going to federal prison. He is asserting himself as a commissioner. He is under the fake sun at that courthouse. It's already on the record. He's already surrounded with the evidence. I am under the fake sun and being targeted by San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, where I am looking at his face. I'm referred to warrants that have been supposedly dismissed with regard to reference to the law that he has, that court has, that Sheriff's Department, this police department, the entity has no authority under. While they're engaging in surveillance, the two are not happening at the same time. The bigger picture is that while you are gang stalking, as the entity is doing in this video, you are then asserting authority under the Constitution, which is the absurdity of the pattern of conduct, and you're going to federal prison for entertaining the warrants of your, the criminal act of your co-defendant. The gang stalking police shall not have any authority such that their criminal acts are then going to turn into authority for the Sheriff's Department, and it is the same legal analysis for that court. This is the entity that's engaging that, and Michael Lowe is not ignorantly engaging in that. This is how the entity is targeting, and he's going to federal prison for it. Justice requires it, and he has no defense, just to let you know. He is already surrounded with the evidence. He is going to federal prison, and this is already in the evidence. Review it. This is the federal government's job to be, while you are observing this investigation. I said at the outset, anyone entertaining the criminal acts of the Ontario Police, you assert you have some warrant while they are stalking, you're going to prison. He's going to prison. Michael T. Lowe is going to prison, and there was a list of them. Kara Hudson, Lisa Rogan, Brody, they're all going to prison. They committed kidnapping over and over and over again, pursuant to the same pattern of conduct. And everyone knows that they've been lying about my character the whole time. Everybody knows that the entity is engaging in this because they want to steal my money and wealth. And now they're engaging in what is kidnapping pursuant to the fact that you're harassing because you're losing in this case. Excuse me, you lost in this case. You're going to prison for that. This is the P.O.C. It is currently 7:47 a.m. This is the evidence regarding the gang stalking police who are going to prison. The people of the state I documented at that venue, they're going to federal prison. The entity stole my devices. Stole my devices pursuant to kidnapping so that they could displace me in Fontana while they were gang stalking me the entire time, and every license plate that I documented. They're all going to federal prison. This is the P.O.C. It is currently 7:47 a.m. at the University of LAVERNE College of Law. This is a corrupt institution that shall not be preparing anyone to sit for the California bar. You go here, you could go here and have fun all you want, waste your money. You will not be practicing law. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, this is the P.O.C. This is relevant to the stalking that the Ontario City Hall, the City of Ontario employees, the U.S. military that are stalking in planes with no passengers not headed to a destination. The destination is stalking the target individual that the military, the people of the state have conspired to murder. No surprise at the venue where they're engaged in poisoning the food products, and they're going to prison, and there is probable cause to suspect that the store manager employees are immigrants. They will be deported. This is the fake sun over me. This is Reliable Properties. This is 10:13 a.m. The entity's keeping the fake sun over me while Alan and Adam Tuckman are stalking under the fake sun in Upland, California. This is stalking on the roads and the highways, the co-conspirators of murder. License 97833 Victor 3, and these are the demons pacing together. P.O.C. Alrighty, this is the entire shopping plaza engaging in that pattern of conduct. They're being prosecuted. I'm here after 5 p.m. and the fake sun is setting, where the Ontario police, the U.S. military is talking about helicopter, and when they do the same thing, they're going to prison. Okay, this is why the entire population that is of the immigrant population is being deported as well. By the way, this is the pattern of conduct, and you are being prosecuted reliable properties while you're watching the businesses themselves engaging in criminal surveillance with the military in an environment that is irreconcilable with nature. NASA cannot explain it, and it is ongoing. It is present. It is remaining around me because these venues, the property itself that you are profiting from, you're profiting from what is monitoring me and furtherance of murder. That's beyond a RICO case. It is treason, and I'm criminally prosecuting based on the pattern of conduct that all of the people of the state engaging in, including while they are engaging in transactions. This is P.O.C. It's 10:14 a.m. Everybody in the store is stalking. Exhibit A. Stalking in the path. Fake sun is over me, and this is the entity that's going to be federally prosecuted for this. This is terrorism. It is 10:15 a.m. and this is the U.S. military that is stalking. This is the police department, and you're summoning them while you're gang stalking. This is the entity that's going to be subject to prison. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, everybody inside of the giant value store is indeed stalking with them that are unintelligent demons, maintaining surveillance through the demon possessed, who are the people of the state under the law, where they'll be prosecuted for treason. And they'll be prosecuted for domestic terrorism. Okay, this is a RICO case. This is the entity that just did a U-turn over downtown Ontario luxury apartments. This is the fake sun over me when I'm maintaining this exact same level of evidence, which is impossible because there's only one sun. And the one sun, if you're paying attention, there's OVITT library over there. It's over me at sunrise. This is a stalker. And it's also what you need to know is that they're demons. And these are demons that are very unintelligent while they are neglecting their HIV-inflamed genitalia and stalking me with their pending death dates. And this is not anything funny or amusing. This is the reality of the mentally ill that are experiencing, and I am documenting, they are exhibiting a real-time psychological breakdown while they've been engaged in mentally ill behavior, which is criminal in nature, for which they will serve the most severe penalties for terrorism, and for which they are serving consequences that no judge can even soften for them, if you will. These are demons that are very much engaged in witchcraft, and they've engaged in criminal activity for which they have been judged to the extent that they are physically going to serve the consequences. That is, for example, Michael Lowe, a cult member of the Air Force. He's going to prison. Okay, that's indicative of what is a spiritual condition. That's a demon gang stalking in a courthouse while you are maintaining an environment pursuant to surveillance, and under such circumstances you don't have jurisdiction, but you're getting to the P.O.C. on the roads and the highways en route to and from a court where the entities engage in what is criminal summoning. The Ontario police are on the street stalking in the morning, stalking in the evening, and so are the demons of the military. This is the same ARCO parking lot, okay? And this is the whole population of demons that are inferior, and they're all stalking, while they have engaged in sacrificing themselves. What you need to know, the threat that they are, national security threat, they've sacrificed their children. So their children, the minors, are going to suffer the consequences for the things, the evil, the criminal activity that they've committed. And the wages include the very lives of those. And this is their own evil. This is the work of their own hands. While the entity's witchcraft, impossible light moves across this wall while this demon is engaged in the P.O.C. And that's the chiropractic office that's engaging in gang stalking. All right, this is the entity that's engaging. I just want to capture this. It's 10:35 a.m. The fake sun is remaining over me in Fontana, California, aboard Omnitrans bus in Upland at the Upland Public Library, while I am maintaining presence inside of the OVITT Family Community Library. This is distinct from that. And I'm here across the street at this library at 6 in the morning. The entity is keeping the fake sun over me while you are exhibiting mental illness. The entity is going to be committed for stalking while riding around in dumpster trucks. You're going to be committed for stalking under a fake sun, for stalk with the possible light. You're going to be committed for stalking in helicopters. You're going to be committed for gang stalking as a kindergarten teacher working for the school district, and you're supposed to be doing one thing and you're representing a whole other fake existence. You're going to be committed for gang stalking while instead of going to work with regard to the irrational basis and obsession of your criminal engagement with an entity. You're going to be committed for these things. You're going to be committed for stalking in bathrooms. You're going to be committed for engaging in what is criminal summoning. This is the P.O.C. It is currently 10:36 a.m. where you're looking at psychopathic pacing, and it is prefaced with the entity's helicopter. And it is also that is engaged in what is stalking on the roads and the highways. And it's the entity that's engaging in the pattern of conduct while flying in U-turns and circles over the downtown Ontario luxury apartments. That's a prosecution of Sarah Regis. You're all witnessing what is this simultaneous prosecution of you, corporate entities, who are the people of the state, and this is also your notice. It's accomplishing both at the same time. License 7 Sam Henry George 498. This is P.O.C. That's the entity that was stalking by helicopter. That's the same military stalking by commercial planes. University of Law is right here. That's 7:19 in the morning. It is 10:37 a.m. They're all stalking. And they're all demons is what you need to know. That's another homeless demon. He's going to prison. All he does is stalk all day long, okay? He sleeps outside, wakes up stalking me, does not actually go to sleep. He's stalking 24 hours a day, just as the demon-possessed are. This is the pattern of conduct. It is currently 10:37 a.m.